Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Predator versus Wolverine. All of them. This was, I guess, this should kind of, sort of, a little bit be a spotlight and story. It's small enough and short enough and condensed enough, in my opinion, that I don't have to get into specific or too many specific details with it. This was an amazing series, though. I didn't think it was going to be that good. I mean, how many times have we seen the Predator being used, and he's like, Predator versus this, Predator versus that. The Predator always loses because, of course, the Predator has to lose. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of spoiler right now. Predator loses in this one. But that being said, it's not a weak loss. It's one of those things where you're looking like, oh, yeah, that was good. And while if you take it into context with everything else that we've seen, Predator versus whoever has fought the Predator, Wolverine might look rather weak in this. That's okay. Sometimes you sacrifice the pride of, yeah, we kicked everybody's butt, and just simply look at it as, you know what? It was good. This was a very well done comic that made everybody in here look like a real and legitimate threat, and it was very enjoyable. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll go into some of the details as we move along. The writer is Benjamin Percy. Art by Ken Lashley doing the present day stuff, and Greg Land with Jay Leiston doing the inks for the Young Wolverine. Team X is Andrea DeVito. The color artists are Juan Fernandez for the present and Team X stuff, and the Young Wolverine is done by Frank D'Armata. Letters by VC's Corey Petit. Young, old, Team X, and all that good stuff. Cover by Mark Cicchetto. Whole bunch of variant covers for this, especially the first one. Uh, all in all, man, this thing blew me away. How many incredible stories you could pull out of just one story, technically. All throughout all of these times, Wolverine, back when he was with his own version of the X Force team, the Weapon X team, they encounter this Predator team, this five Predator team. What do they call the Uajda, something like that? Uh, Wolverine only has three people with him. So it's Wolverine, it's Sabretooth, it's Maverick, and some other chick. I don't remember her name. I don't think it was important. Spoiler, she dies, and she dies quick, and she dies hard. And they show graphically the result, and it's like, oh, ew. But I like that. I don't know. It is what it is. The Predators outnumber them 5-1, but there's also a whole bunch of renegade bad guys out there that the X team was actually meant to go and take out. But then when these Predators showed up, it got a little bit funky. Really good story there where every single one of those Predators, except for the one, dies. And that's the one that chooses to hunt Wolverine forever. Mind you, Wolverine had the bone claws at that time. So, seeing what Maverick took out one, it was really cool seeing the way it happens. Sabretooth winds up getting taken out, but he takes one out in the same process. It was actually really good. They didn't chump out Sabretooth. I don't know why. I'm such a huge fan of Sabretooth. I hate seeing him punked out, and he was handled really well in this as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, so the one survives, and this is the one who continues to hunt Wolverine throughout time. So we go and we start looking at all these different time periods in the X history. And each one of these time periods in these books, they're all drawn in the exact same sort and fashion that they were drawn back in the day. So they're a little bit boxy and I should say rounded boxy version in the later X-Men books, later meaning like, 1980s, later 1980s. Earlier than that, the Weapon X stuff, it actually looks like those Weapon X issues that came out in the Marvel Comics Presents. Every single time that you see something, and I want to try and double check on certain things. Like, was iBoy actually there in Next Gen or whatever the heck it was called when Kitty Pryde was actually Shadowcat at the time? I mean, did all these things really happen? I don't know. But you get to see all these different time periods, all these different people interacting and helping or trying to hurt Wolverine. Wolverine when he was back in Japan learning from Muramasa. Really amazing stuff that just had me going hard. There was one point where I suddenly started thinking, how cool would it be to see Predator versus the Hand? Just pause, actually think about it. Who's going to win at the end? They're both bad guys. Also, the Hand is very expendable. The Beast would have to show up at some point, right? It would be that big of a deal. Whether it be a truce made, would the Hand eventually prevail? Would the Predator win? Who knows? When you're fighting against a bad guy, it's hard to tell who would actually win. I love what they did with this. There's so much thought process involved in this. So many different time periods where Wolverine has to realize and recognize what's going on, all the way until we get to the final battle, which is hinted in pretty much every single issue. The things that Wolverine does to survive, some of the things that Arnold Schwarzenegger had in fact done. Some things didn't make a lot of sense, like when he sacrificed an eye, would have been his left eye, sacrificed a blind eye. Because it's like, I mean, you could have gotten any old eye to do that. You could have gotten anything you wanted. Why did you do that and then compromise your healing factor right then and there on the spot, having to regrow an eye, right? Start jumping from a tree, and meanwhile you don't have peripheral vision anymore. Oops, it could happen. If you think it can't, climb up a tree, close one eye, and then jump out the tree and try and land on your target. I'm saying, if your target is the Earth, you win. Anything other than that, you're probably going to come up a little short. Anyway, please do not jump out of trees. Not a good idea. I don't want any of this stuff coming back to me. But man, these books were just so spectacular. The art was, dare I say it, freaking perfect. Because, like I said, every single time period, bang, that's what you got. It looks just like that stuff. Like they went back and found these people or resurrected them. Rise from the dead, rise from your grave. And they were able to get these artists to start doing stuff again. And obviously they didn't, but man, it was so good. Oh, it was so good. And Greg Land's the one who did all of that stuff, all those older stories and whatnot. These were amazing. Seeing this fight, seeing the way that it ends. Yeah, you'd figure that for the most part, this is exactly what should happen, but you don't realize that until it actually does. And then it just makes all the sense in the world. Guys, I could not recommend more highly to go and get these books. Fantastic. You want to wait for the trade? It's worth it. It's totally worth it. But this is one of those books you could sit back and you could read, and you could actually come back and you could reread this several times. In a row? I mean, maybe. But for all intents and purposes, this is a book that you can keep with you in your immediate or coffee table collection. There are not a lot of series, not a lot of books, or even miniseries like that. But this is absolutely one of them. Really good stuff, highly recommended. Also going to highly recommend my two books, a book on riddles and a book on traps, how to make them, how to put them together, how to alter them depending on the understanding and the level of your particular party, because these are meant for RPG game, the role-playing games, so that you can actually have more good and fun stuff to do instead of just, oh, a stray ogre steps in front of you. Okay, roll initiative. Okay, roll to hit. Okay, roll for damage. Okay, it's his turn. Like it gets kind of boring. But when you have all of a sudden, oh, the monsters are bearing down upon you and the bridge is closed and this looks like an overwhelming, thing. But here's a riddle right here. How are you gonna? Are you, what are you gonna do to try and solve this riddle? Oh, by the way, as you're crossing, there's a trap. Where's the rogue? Better disarm that thing. They're fun. They're freaking fun. I think you'll enjoy those too. Anyways, guys, the Kickstarter is going to start on March 1st. I'll talk to all you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.